Shout out to one of our sponsors, Co Space and Clubhouse. As you guys know, we did the Luminary panel season 1 on Zoom, and so we were looking for a podcast studio to film. And now here I am in Co Space and Clubhouse, and here they have multiple rooms, one being the lounge, a conference room, and a podcast studio. They serve many different beverages, including tea, coffee, and kava, and their main mission is to be a place where people can come together and work together. So if you can, stop by. It's right outside of downtown Orlando, and it's a great place to work and meet others. Hope you try
it. All right. Welcome back to the Luminary panel. This is going to be a new concept. Not even a new concept. I haven't done this since the first episode from season 1 of explaining what the Luminary panel is. But this time, this is going to be totally different because obviously you guys know that we have workshops every last Wednesday of the month. So because of that, I've developed some, speaking material. And I feel like because a lot of people aren't able to come to the workshops every month, I just put them on YouTube, and then that'll be my way of doing my solo podcasts or solo episodes while I'm here. So I'm sure this will impact you. I'm sure this will transform you. I'm sure this will give you ideas to take the leap of faith into entrepreneurship, or even if you're not an entrepreneur, you'll find some inspiration to just conquer life. That's the main point of this. The main point of me building the Luminary panel is so that you're inspired to take action. With that being said, without taking action, you have to have a certain mindset. And because of that, your mindset is a direct reflection of what your future is. Just like the people that you hang out with is a direct reflection of who you and what your future will look like. But your mindset is a direct reflection of what your future is. So let's say you want to be a millionaire, right? If your mindset isn't as if you're a millionaire now, you won't be a millionaire until it'll be hard for you to transition from being a regular person to be a millionaire because the habits of a regular person are still in you as a millionaire. So the difference between the person that is a millionaire and the person that is wanting to be a millionaire without having the right mindset is that they saw themselves as millionaires before they became millionaires. The Luminary panel, our mission is to become an immediate resource to you as the aspiring entrepreneur. With that being said, we've partnered with SCG, Shamaa Consultant Group, the business development one-stop shop. They have everything you need as far as marketing, benchmarking, and so much more so that we, as the Luminary panel and SCG, can help you thrive in your business. So they became close proximity of the people that they're probably looked up to or probably thought they were millionaires at the time. And they embodied some of the things that they did. They asked the right questions about how do you operate in this setting? Like, how do you manage your money well? How do you orchestrate and organize and become a center of influence? Because those are some characteristics as a millionaire, right? So obviously I'm looking through my iPad to give you the material. Technical difficulties. Oh, let me see something. Oh, there it is. All right. So today I want to talk to you about the theory of epicness. Now, what's so funny about this topic is the speaker that we have for this particular workshop was Meredith Alexander, and her presentation was so powerful that I didn't even speak, because if I were to step in, I felt like I would disrupt the flow. And that took a lot of humility, a lot of self-awareness for me to understand that, because that would just be me like, hey, I want you to look at me. But the attention was on her, and I allowed her to like take control of the floor, and people were truly, truly, truly transformed and inspired by her conversation with the audience. And if you can make it, if you're in the Orlando area, I wholeheartedly would say I recommend you coming to one of the events. It's nothing like you watching it online. Yes, we're going to be doing live events when we do the workshops now, but it's a totally different experience when you're in the building, meeting like-minded people, being around inspirational people, and being transformed based off of what the topic is. So I recommend you coming next time. But there's a question I want to ask you right now, and I think everybody goes through things, and again, it goes back to the mindset. How tough are you when you go through things? But the question I want to ask you right now, how do you beat external trials so that it doesn't affect you mentally? Now, that's a very, very tricky question because a lot of times it's hard to mentally step outside of your comfort zone when you're going through a trial or a triumph. But it's about what is the thing that you run to when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel disciplined or disappointed, when you feel like you're not enough, when you feel like you're stuck. What do you run to get out of that and make sure it doesn't affect you mentally? Because a lot of times if you're affected mentally, you won't perform at your best version of yourself. So that's the question I want you to kind of ponder as we go through this whole conversation. There's three things that I kind of go through in my everyday life because this year has been great because business has grown, but also there's been things because I'm doing great that has to humble me so I can learn how to transition to be more successful. And I think that I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And because of that, it allowed me to be more aware of how I see situations and also how I conquer the situation. And it's so critical because think about it like this. A lot of times when we go through things, we want to run to something. So another question I want to ask you is, what vices are you using to escape from reality? Maybe that's smoking. Maybe that's drinking. Maybe that's doom scrolling. Maybe that's overeating. Maybe that's spending a lot of money. Maybe that's going traveling. What vices are you running from or using to run from reality? First thing I want to let you know, and it's a sad story, no matter how far you run or how much you use anything of those vices or any of those vices, the reality is still going to set in place. That's just real, right? But the next question is, how long does your escape last while doing them? So when you're doing these vices and you finally escape where your mind isn't focused on that situation or that trial or that triumph, and you're doing it, you feel like you're away from it, but how long does it truly last? Does it last an hour, a day, a week, until reality sets back in? Now, that's a very profound question because a lot of times we do the vices without thinking how long it will last because we just want to escape immediately. We're looking for immediate gratification in a space where we need permanent gratification. And you only get permanent gravitation or gratification from mentally being in a place where nothing could stop you. And funny thing is, because you've been through so much and your past has shown that you're strong enough to get through anything, that means that you have it in you. There's not a time, if you're alive and you're breathing right now, there's nothing on earth that has stopped you yet. There's nothing on earth that has stopped you yet. You know what that means? It's because you're walking in your purpose, you're about to find your purpose, and you're elevating to grow the people around you. Now, that perspective is very different from the right now. Well, Chonsten, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now. I just lost this. I just lost that. I can't mentally put myself in a situation where I go into the job space and perform the best version of myself. Like, What is that? How aren't you able to do that? And again, this is easier said than done. I just learned this up into this year to be able to be mentally tough enough to put my personal stuff aside so I can perform, because a lot of people are depending on me. I got the Luminary panel staff. I got people that I partner with as far as our sponsors. Shout out to Co Space and Clubhouse and SCG and some of the future sponsors and partners. Like, these people are trusting me to get a job done. I can't put my feelings in it so I won't perform, and then I end up missing out an opportunity that may work out best for the business or the people around me, right? So the third question I want to ask you is, are they a hindrance? Are these vices a hindrance or an enhancement to your performance in your personal life and professional life? Now I'm going to ask that again. Are the vices a hindrance or an enhancement? So do they stop you or do they grow you in the realm of performance in your professional life and your personal life? So the vices that you use could be possibly make you go 3 steps back, even when you're upset or frustrated or overwhelmed, 3 steps back from you going 10 steps forward. So instead of you being 15 ahead, now you're back to 13 ahead, because you're not in a space of executing even when there's a hindrance in front. But it's based off of how you react to the situation. So the situation that you're going through, you could be using vices that enhances your performance. So probably reading a good book or going exercising is a great vice to use when you're going through stuff. Or instead of you going to alcohol, go to kava. That's a better thing. Shout out to Co Space and Clubhouse. Y'all like how I plug that back in there. Go to kava. Go to something that's going to enhance your ability to perform day in and day out, no matter what the circumstance you're going through, personally or professionally. Yes, you have to escape. Yes, you have to kind of take a breather away from that, because it can be overwhelming. But it's about how you react to it. It's not about how you look at it. It's about how you react to it. Okay? So I'll be honest with you guys. I was a doom scroller. I still am at times. Like, when I feel bored or overwhelmed and I want to face a situation, I usually am doom scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, not even remember what I'm seeing, but I know I want to escape by just looking at things that just takes my mind away. Right? And because of that, because I'm a doom scroller, like, that's my particular vice, or that was my vice. It was me mentally going down a spiral that had no correlation to my growth. It had no correlation to my growth. What do I mean by that? Instead of me saying, oh, I'm so proud of myself for being where I am, because I'm doom scrolling, I feel like, oh, I need to be doing this. I should be doing this. And then it turns into shame. Then it turns into regret. And then I become unproductive, because now my mind is going down this spiral that isn't conducive to my growth or enhancing my performance professionally and personally. Right? But then something switched. My mind switched. And I'm about to give you guys some cheat codes. Okay? I drastically changed my mindset around performing through adversity. Okay? Performing through adversity. Doing these 3 things, right? Okay? If you're taking notes, I recommend you taking notes now if you're not. But relabeled my thinking. The second thing is redirected my thinking. Third is remember I am only thinking. Let me explain what relabel my thinking. Okay, I wrote it like this. Okay, again, I'm reading off of my iPad, and yeah. Okay, relabel your thinking. Identify what you are feeling in the moment. So as you're thinking, what is the feeling that you're getting when you're thinking those thoughts? right? Again, you're going through this adversity, you're going through a hard time right now, and then you start to spiral like I did. Is it regret? Is it stress? Is it overwhelmed? Are you depressed? Like, you have to identify it first. You have to know what it is, where it's coming from. Okay? And then when I say relabel, you're thinking, we are relabel. Oh, this is so good. All right. Let me start from the jump. Mind you, when I say relabel, you're thinking, I'm saying we are relabeling the connotation around what your thought pattern is at the moment. So the connection, when I say connotation, the connection between, is it positive thinking or negative thinking, and how do I correlate that to how I'm feeling? Right? Our emotions will shock our nervous system based off of the patterns of thoughts we're having and how we label those thoughts. So, like, for example, if we feel stress, we label it as stress. But for me, the way we relabel it is, instead of me saying, hey, I'm about to try something new, oh, I may be anxious, I'm saying I'm excited about this thing. I'm excited to see what the end result will be. I'm excited to feel myself say, hey, I just did something brand new and I've never ever experienced this feeling before. So now think about the connotation about anxiety may be negative, and I feel, oh, I can't do it. I'm anxious. I'm too overwhelmed. I can't do this. And it becomes a spiral again. And then I talk myself out of doing it. But when I say I'm excited about it, I'm looking forward to it. It becomes a positive connotation. So a little bit of homework around the relabeling side. So I want you to kind of sit in your space, wherever you are right now, whatever situation you're going through, and sit in it and understand your thoughts. Okay? Label them. Okay, I feel depressed here, or oh, I'm anxious right here, or oh, I don't know about this. And that's okay. Maybe you need find help. Find people that's going to help you label what those things are. Right? I'm an advocate for therapy. I've never done it, but I want to get into it because I believe that's something that I need to get into. I just realized how important mental health was up until next week. Right? So relabel your thinking by relabeling the things that you think that your emotions are feeling. Okay? Redirect our thinking. Okay, that's part number 2. I'm a firm believer of being your future self now. Like I said, I want to be number one resource for all entrepreneurs in the world. The way I do that is by doing that now, by building a Luminary panel, finding strategic partners right now, going into meetings. Even if I feel like I'm unqualified to have these conversations, the thing that pushes me to make me feel like I'm at my future self now is the people that are dependent on me to be the person I need to be. This is surpassed me being me and thinking about what I can benefit from it. Yes, I want accolades. Yes, I want rewards. Yes, I want the money. But long story short, if I am not thinking about the people around me, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's my purpose, right? So redirecting your thinking. If you believe you're a person that you're going to be in 10 years right now, when I feel myself spiral downward in a negative thinking pattern, the first thing I say is that it's not true. Now we're steering it to, again, it goes back to identifying what the thought is. And if it's not conducive to who I am going to be, and if I'm operating in who I'm going to be right this second, then it's not true. If I say I want to travel the country, and I say I'm not unqualified, that means that's not true, because 10 years from now, I'll be traveling the country, or even sooner than that, I'll be traveling the country to speak globally to inspire the aspiring entrepreneur. That's not true. That is not true. If I say, hey, I'm going to have the number one resource in the world, and I think about there's so many other resources, da, 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 da. That's not true. I told myself I'm the number one resource in the world, so I have to live by that. You know why? Because people are dependent on me to be the number one resource so they can be the best version of themselves. right? Y'all getting me hype in here. Y'all getting me real hype in here, right? All right. So I say that's not true. And then the second thing is, which is a great pointer for you right now, find a power phrase. A power phrase, right? And I wrote like this. A power phrase is the set of words that instantly change the state that you are based on how connected you are to the words. Excuse me. Now, that last part, how connected you are to the words, is very, very, very intentional. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why words are so powerful is because your words can turn into a manifestation in reality. So a lot of people say affirmations, right? I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm confident, I'm this, I'm that. But a lot of times they only say it because they heard it from other people. But they don't find words that's connected to them internally that can change their state internally immediately. Now that's a big game changer. Hope it's not raining, y'all. That's a game changer, yo. Once you start finding words that you're connected to, it's a game changer. You know why? Because once you start to feel your mind spiral, once you start to find your mind spiraling, what happens is you got a secret weapon. I got these power phrases. So, for example, mine is, I am strong, I am confident, and I am assertive. I'm successful. I am happy. I am loved. And as I'm saying that, I'm getting more and more excited because I am strong. I am assertive. I am one of those people that will be successful. I am loved. What are your power words? Look it up. Maybe you got to list some things down. You got to allow your brain to go through some things, and you got to go see what some words that you correlate with. And as soon as you feel an igniting feeling in your gut, in your spirit, in your soul, that's the word you need to remind yourself with. Yes, use affirmations, but as long as it's conducive to your future self, to who you are right this second. The last but not least, remember that you are only thinking. How do you remember that you're thinking? Let me help you understand something. Okay? Your thoughts and feelings are two different places. Your thoughts and your feelings, which is in your heart, is in two different places. It's only true if you connect the two. If you connect your heart and if you connect your heart and your mind, it becomes true. If you leave it here, it's just a thought. If you hear it and leave it here, it's just the emotion, it's just the feeling. But not until you connect the two, it becomes true. So, if you feel overwhelmed, it does not mean that it is true to you mentally. Going back to the last point of redirecting your thoughts, you have to identify the thought, relabel the thought, redirect the thought. Now remember the thought. Remember where you are. Remember what you're feeling. Like I said before, your thoughts are only thoughts if you leave it in your brain. Your feelings are only emotions if you leave it in your heart. If you connect the two, that's only when you feel true. So if you start using power phrases, and your gut feels true to it, it has to be true. So as soon as you feel your brain going, oh, I'm unworthy, oh, I'm not qualified, oh, I feel like this person's better. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Okay? So now here's the difference. Okay? Whatever your feelings agree with about your thoughts makes it true. But you can't make a decision without having both. You can't make a decision. So when you are feeling stuck and your mind starts to wander into the worst case scenario, relabel, redirect, and remember. Now listen, This is just my first one. Okay. I got so many other ones that we've done, and I think that is extremely valuable to you and where you are right now. But my goal is to aspire you to recognize and see that you're about to live in a place of peacefulness, blissfulness, but you have to seek it. It's not going to fall in your lap. It's not going to happen as soon as you get to the place that you feel like you need to get to find bliss. It starts here. It starts here. It starts in your eyes, your vision. It starts when you speak it. It has to be a correlation. It's not going to happen like out of the thin air. God does not work like that. Yes, it is written, depending on what you believe in. Yes, your purpose and your mission is already laid out and you will fulfill it. But because you ask for it, you will reap the things that it takes for you to get to that thing you want. You have to sit in it. You have to recognize it. You have to do the work. Yes, you can go to these Reiki people. Yes, you can go to these pawn, but it's not going to be true until you actually come to a place where you recognize and understand yourself on a deeper level, to the point where these situations are only situations where you know instantly that this is something I need to learn from. What if you were to change the perspective that you had on that, saying this situation is just for me to learn from? And also, as I close, remember your past. Remember the thing that you thought you could not get out of. Remember the thing that you said that I'm over with, I'm burnt out, I cannot do enough. I feel unqualified. I feel like I'm about to quit. I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I can't get out of this. Remember that. Sit for a second, remember it. Now look where you are. Now look how much you've accomplished. Now look how happy you are. Yes, the situations happen. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it's easier said than done. Yes, we will still and continually evolve and elevate. Shout out to my boy Iman and his podcast. We will continue to evolve and elevate, but it takes you going through something for you to get to the other side. Now, I always feel like when I do these things that I ramble. But because I ramble, hopefully you got some type of inspiration from it. And I believe you will. If you feel like somebody needs to hear this, make sure you share this episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all the social media platforms. And just become a part of something different. It's very unique. Every person that comes through our workshops has drastically changed in an instant. And it's not because we bring in the right people at the right time. Yes, I strategically bring in the right speakers at the right time. But it also comes in because people are willingly expecting change. If you're willingly expecting change, you can only receive what you're expecting. That's so fire. I ain't gonna repeat it because you're gonna have to rewind and watch that part back. But it's so true. The only way you accept, I ain't even gonna do that to myself. But anyway, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow me on my social media platform. You can find me at Chonsten Jennings on social media, all social media platforms. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, and I know, I'm not going to say hopefully, I know you found something out of this to use in your everyday life. Thanks for watching.